On a previous episode of Depraved and Debaucherous, I actually talked about how dating apps have delusioned and degraded women's preferences for men. But the other part we've also talked about, which I mentioned on that particular episode, was it also makes us very insecure about ourselves. Our insecurities are heightened and amplified because of the fact that there are so many different people that are not like us, beautiful people out there, and aplenty. And you're saying to yourself, well, how am I going to fit in? Like, it's fear of missing out. It's feeling like you're not pretty enough, not beautiful enough. These beauty standards are out there that are being created by the health and beauty industry that makes $1 billion a year plus. There's a whole thought about like what you're supposed to look like. When you look at, billboards, you're in the mall, you're in some shopping center, and you see like all these models dressed as such. It doesn't matter even if it's like diversity, equity, inclusion either. There has to be this certain beauty standard. It just doesn't fit for everybody. Everybody has to fit this hole. And if you're a round peg trying to get into a square peg, you're not going to work. There's a new study that came out about how attachment insecurity is associated with online dating app use and emotions following sex. So even if you have sex, there's a whole feel of it. So this new survey reveals individuals high in attachment anxiety reported a higher use of dating apps and negative experiences after recent sexual encounters both with partners they met online and offline. This was published in the International Journal of Sexual Health. Online dating is seen by researchers as a, quote, novel and unique context distinct from that of offline dating, allowing people to evaluate detailed information about potential partners available in their profiles, which is something not so easily available in traditional dating, but affords a higher degree of anonymity. So researchers are now more interested in whether psychological processes related to online dating are different in any other way from those from traditional offline dating. So they looked at different factors: low self-worth characterizations, great worries about possible rejection, the availability of others and intense emotions when the person is concerned about emotional attachment issues, and then avoidance. The expectation others are trustworthy, to where the person avoids closeness or dependence on others and handles attachment concerns by avoiding emotions. And so, Associate Professor of Psychology at Arizona State University, John K. Coffey, says, I'm interested in how emotions and relationships are linked to well-being. In a class about attachment, we looked at differences in uncommitted sexual experiences or hookups related to attachment, but there was not much about online dating or hookup apps, how it fit in. And then one of his students talked about, she was curious about why modern dating apps would be connected to her attachment styles, so they decided to test it. Now, they went here and they looked for 247 workers, age 27 years average, 40% were females. And they learned this, that individuals high in attachment anxiety reported higher use of online dating apps and more negative experiences, lower satisfaction, more guilt, following their most recent sexual encounters with partners met online or offline, and reported feeling more used after engaging in sexual activity, specifically with partners they met offline. Individuals that are highly avoidant, they reported more negative experiences following their most recent sexual encounters, but only with partners they met offline. So it's the attachment themselves, which is the attachment theory, the John Bowlby thing that goes back to the 50s. This is related to this. And it affects who they're dating online and who they're having sex with and how they feel after sex, if there's any satisfaction at all. Hookups, even from using the dating app, were rare for a lot of people, but they reported the sexual experience was not great. Almost no one had their first sexual experience with someone they met online. And then they also talk about that the study was done in an online sample consisting of persons who were more likely to use dating apps than the general population. And they notice also that studies have also shown that women are higher in an attachment avoidance and men who are higher in attachment anxiety may overreport levels of romantic conflict relative to their partners. It's because you're not getting the full emotional aspect if you're meeting somebody in person and you're attracted to them. And it's like not just by one picture. It's about what the person's doing in real life. It's animated. You're seeing the person in full 4K, right? And you see the person throughout. And just this, as we already know, some people are much more stimulated by looking at somebody in motion than it is in just seeing a static picture. And that's what we see here. And it's very fascinating and important to talk about this. But it does make people feel insecure. They feel bad about themselves because they feel like there's less than or they're not good enough. happens so much. I notice with my online dating, I do feel more insecure than before. But it's like, it's weird because we're also supposed to feel like, well, with online dating, we're not taking as much of this serious as we normally would. But then we keep low expectations when we date from online dating apps. And then when we get done, we're not satisfied. So why are we going for this in the first place? Why are we not going back out and meeting people in person? The pandemic didn't help, you know. And now we're here and it's like people are just not happy. And the dating apps are not helping at all. Because I think those that are using the dating apps and are successful with them, they kind of manipulate the system. They have a different mindset to it. And somehow it works for them. But it's not good for people that are healthy. Mentally healthy and feeling good about themselves. Because let's just say it like this. Dating online, or when we used to have dating for people going into the classified ads or writing Craigslist posts, a lot of us are damaged, including myself. We were damaged. And the fact that we had to go through and now we're dating like this, we're damaged. We didn't come off word like everybody else did. So it feels different. Anyway, that's what makes us still not in a relationship. It makes us depraved and debaucherous.